Hey guys, how's it all going? It's Footy Man over here, and today we are doing round number 6 of AJ Predicts. Last week we did the best week ever on this series. We got 7 tips right out of 8 last week, so I actually did pretty good. Screw the Bulldogs. More about that later, but we're going to get straight into the tips this week. Moving into the Sydney Roosters taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Roosters are wearing their heritage strip in this game. And of course, we do have a lot of history against South Sydney. Round 1, 2012, we won on the buzzer. Round 19, 2012, they won on the buzzer. So it's been a long-standing rivalry ever since the game kicked off in 1908. The Roosters, it's hard to tip against them after last week's performance. I said they needed to bounce back, and they absolutely did with a great performance. So the Roosters will win in this game by about 10 or 15 points. Moving on to the early drive time football match, we have the Melbourne Storm and the Newcastle Knights. The Storm are out of the top 8 for the first time since 2014. It's been about 92 rounds since it's happened, and I've just been sit back and I've been shocked by the way they played. Yes, they've dropped Brodie Croft for this week's match against the Knights, and I'm going to tip consistently, I'm going to go the favourites, Melbourne, in this match. Just because Mamie Park, they hardly ever lose there. I have to say hardly because I've been getting a bit of crap off a certain Bailey Tebbit about him saying, oh, Melbourne never win at fucking home, this, that, the other. Anyway, we'll leave that for another week. Moving on, we've got the 5-0 St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the Sharks. The Sharks, they've got a case of white line fever. They just can't put the ball down over the line. They had 58% of the ball against the Roosters, and they still lost pretty convincingly by 3 converted tries. So is it the coach or is it their spine? I've got a feeling it's their spine. They're just not connected at the moment. I mean, there's obviously a couple injuries there. Matt Moylan was back to good form. He's still not 100% to where he was playing State of Origin a few years ago. That's going to take a bit of a while to come back after his injury. The Dragons have been the success story of the NRL so far. I said it last week, I said it again. Put in your papers and your diaries. Anzac Day 2018. You will want to watch this game. It's going to be an absolute bell ringer. My tip for this game, go back to this game, will be the Dragons. They've just been too good this year, the Dragons. It's going to be hard to go past them this season. Moving on, the undefeated Warriors take on the Brisbane Broncos next. The Broncos, they were disappointing against Newcastle, but what I'm calling bullshit this week on Sam Fido. A new segment I'm bringing, I call bullshit. And it's also not going to be my poll question. Do you think that it was right for Sam Fido to say, oh, it doesn't matter if we win or not, it only matters if we improve? For a yes or no, in the poll question, which will be on the top right hand corner of your screen. The Warriors have been the success story of 2018. I said it week after week. They absolutely have improved week by week, and it's going to be a big clash next week between the Dragons and the Warriors. The Warriors, they had a great performance at home against the Cowboys, and they're going to deliver it again. Moving on, we've got the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Canterbury Bulldogs. What the actual fuck is going on? They've won one game to start the season. They just haven't been themselves this year. Jonathan Thurston's been getting worse. Michael Morgan's worse. They just seem fatigued after a big season last year. The Bulldogs, they were ugly against the Raiders last week. But you know what? I'm going to stick with them for one more week. Actually, no, I'm not, because I just read that Lachlan Coote's back. So yeah, the Cowboys will win this game. Hopefully they do not let me down. I haven't tipped them much this year, so hopefully they do not let me down. Moving on, we've got the Raiders and the Eels. Yes, Eels fans, Clinton Gutherson is playing. Bad news is that he's not going to fix the problems. Your team cannot complete a set of fucking 6. That's what you need to get straight. You cannot complete a set of 6 without even an error or conceding a penalty or getting a piggyback penalty. Stick to your set completions. The Raiders, they've improved and they had a really gutsy win. No one on the interchange and still managing to pull through with a win is unremarkable. Not unremarkable. It's remarkable as hell to be able to pull that off. And congratulations, Ricky Stewart and the Raiders. You absolutely deserve this win. And you're going to get another one this weekend. I think Ricky Stewart's speech last week about earning the jumper seemed to have kicked into a couple of players. And yes, Jack Whiten has been named. I haven't touched on this, but Jack Whiten was arrested in February on an allegation of assault. He faced court on Wednesday, pleaded not guilty. He's due back in court in July. But as the Roosters did with Sean Kenny-Down, innocent till proven guilty, and I've said that many, many times. Moving on to actually one of the clashes of the week. Penrith taking on the Gold Coast. The Titans have been improving week after week. They were smashed into Toowoomba 2 weeks ago, came back strong against the Broncos, and came back strong against the Manly in Gladstone. They played really, really well. They stuck to set completions. Ash Taylor, Jai Arrow, boy oh boy have they improved. The Panthers, they won ugly against the Eels. Wanga Blake out for 4 weeks. A back rower in the centres will be a very interesting selection. I'm going to go the upset in this game. The Gold Coast have got some momentum with some good performances. We'll string them along. Moving along to the Sunday afternoon game. How good Sunday Arvo footy at Brookie, they tell me. They've got Manly taking on the Tigers. Tom Trbojevic is a much-needed inclusion for the Manly side. The Tigers, they've been going so well. They do get Josh Reynolds back, but I think Manly at home will struggle, in my opinion. Even though they won their only game at home all season. I'm going to change my mind. They are going to win. Fortress Brookie is back. So my tips: Roosters, Storm. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Dragons, Warriors, Cowboys, Raiders, Titans, and Manly. Thanks for watching AJ Predicts. Take care and goodbye.